Welcome to DubLife Diaries, the podcast where passion meets the open road. I'm Joe Person, your host, and also a lifelong dubber. Buckle up, because this ride is just beginning. This podcast is sponsored by Volksmania magazine. Good times, great cars, awesome Volksmaniacs. Visit Volksmania.com to learn more about this class-leading VW magazine. Welcome back to DubLife Diaries. Today's guest is a true craftsman, a storyteller in the world of vintage Volkswagens, from late nights in the garage with his dad and his son to building award-winning bugs that have graced magazine covers and taken home best in show. He's living proof that passion can turn into a full-time lifestyle. He's the owner of Long Restoration, which is a family-run shop that's breathing new life into forgotten classics, pushing them far beyond what our parents ever dreamed they'd become. Brad Long, welcome to DubLife Diaries.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, brother. Well, man, I'm excited to do this one. I've been seeing you from afar. I'm happy to get to know you. Before we get going, I just want to give a shout out to a few of my sponsors. First up, Volksmania magazine. I feel these guys are the flyest VW magazine on the face of the planet. Best quality, but more importantly, the best people. And I think that's really what we're all about, is the people, just like our wonderful Volkswagen community. Shout out to those guys, Volksmania.com. If you are a U.S. subscriber and you haven't given this magazine a shot yet, please use DubLife 10. That's DUBLIFE, the number 10 at checkout. You'll get 10% off your subscription. Next up, my buddy Chris White, Riverbank Customs. Man, one heck of a Volkswagen dude. He is all about this scene, y'all. Check him out. Follow him on YouTube, Riverbank Customs. You can't miss him. Such a special guy in the scene. Go give that page on YouTube a subscribe. And then lastly, shout out to Salty Dub. From the beach to the bay, Salty Dub is tearing up the VW scene. Some epic VW events and swag, saltydub.com. Same discount code applies. So DubLife10 will give you 10% off merch. That's it. My sponsors, back to you. My man, back to you. All right.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. So let's get this thing cracking, man. Take us back to 18 years old in the body shop. What got you hooked on painting, on auto painting?
Well, it's a funny story. 16, 17-year-old, me and my buddies out riding around like everybody did back in the late 80s. He backs over a car. Woman comes out. What are we going to do? He says, well, my uncles do this on the side. She said, okay. So we went up there and they taught us. We actually fixed it. They painted it, but we fixed it. And it kind of got me interested in, okay, I think I want to do this. And it went from there. Went to school for it for a little bit. Left school early. Got a job in a body shop. First started out washing cars. Then started buffing. Then got to a painter's helper. And then I think it was 3 or 4 years into it. I was in my early 20s. I was a painter. So, but it was cool back then because you was with all the old school guys.
Right.
You know, and that's what's helped me today on some of this metal work, because they would teach you how to hammer dolly. In today's body shop world, it's, you come in, you put a fender on, you don't fix it no more. You know, just replace. And back then we was having to fix everything. So, I mean, and I think that's what helped a lot, you know, learning from the old school guys.
Yeah, my background's HVAC, at least last 10, 15 years of my professional career. And you see a lot of that in that industry as well, right? Like the old school guys were like beer can cold, refrigerant line mentality.
Right.
You know, they fix everything, replace nothing. You know, we can fix anything. The old shop heads, you know, the old, mechanic guys. Nowadays, technicians, early 20-year-old guys are out in the field and everything's, oh yeah, you got to replace it.
Yeah.
So I feel that. I feel that for sure. How do you think you worked in the collision centers. How do you think that, getting that experience, with those guys, how do you think it changed your approach to how you do, your restorations now?
Well, like I say, the way they taught us how to fix stuff. Of course, like when we do a car now, I paint it piece by piece. We don't paint them together. Like in the older days, you did paint the body shop cars together. Well, as it grew, we started painting them in pieces too.
Okay.
And hanging doors, doing them inside and out at one time. Same thing with the fenders, but you done it all in the booth at one time, but everything was off. So some of the old school stuff and some of the new school stuff put into both, put it into the Volkswagen stuff. I mean, it's, I get a lot of people ask me, why do you paint the doors off the car? Well, it makes a cleaner job. You got no tape. You ain't got no tape lines. There's no tape lines on our cars when we're done with them. I mean, it's all, the jams are like the outside. I mean, it's, I do paint under the hood and stuff first and tape it off, but you can tape it off to where there's no tape lines or anything. I think since we've been doing this, I think I've done one car where we didn't take the parts off.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of made me sick, but it was that guy's budget. He's like,
yeah.
like that. So, I mean, it's, we did pull the beading out of it. We didn't paint the beading on the fenders, but I mean, they're in 100 pieces when we do them.
Now, you always been a car guy though, right? Even in your childhood.
Oh yeah. Even in my child, I mean, Dad had Volkswagen growing up.
Yeah.
I remember riding around in it. It was a green. Can't remember if it's 72 or 73. I know it wasn't a Super Beetle. But I remember running around in it, and he always had, of course, I say running around in it now and barely getting the back seat of one.
Right.
When you was a kid, you'd run all over the back seat of a Bug.
Yeah. Ride in the back luggage compartment. Yeah.
Yeah. And now I can't even crawl back there.
Right.
And, he had Impalas. He had all kind of, even when he was younger, he had 55, 6, 7s, all kind of old trucks. And like my first vehicle was a 71 C10. I traded it for a 66 Super Sport Chevelle. So it was always hot rods,
Okay.
But I remember the Bugs when Dad was, when I was younger.
Didn't he race them too?
Yeah, he had a blue Bug, number 88. We had a local dirt track and he would race them. And it was pretty cool, because they was the Bugs and the Gias. And like the dude down the road from us on the gas station, he had a Gia. They raced together. And I mean, he had the hole cut in the roof. So when he done buckle, he just climbed out the roof of it. I mean, it was, it's pretty cool.
For sure. Now, let's fast forward a little bit. I know as my wife, wanted a Carmen Gia one day, I had to make it happen. Your wife said she wanted a Bug, right?
Right. Exactly. She's like, I'm tired of you and your dad having all these hot rods. I want something. I said, what do you want? She said, I want a Volkswagen Bug. And I'm like, really? And so we searched and searched and searched. And we went out West Tennessee and found her one. And of course, it was just going to was going to leave it patinaed up, just do the interior, fix rust if we had to here and there.
Uh-huh.
And then that didn't happen. It turned into, full restoration, full color change and all that stuff.
Turned into a full project.
Yeah. Yeah. So
what year is this one?
70.
70.
Yeah.
Standard.
I
had a 72 standard. My first car my first Volkswagen, that is, right, fresh out of high school, 96, I believe. I bought that car for $2,000. It was an auto clutch, and it had 70,000 miles on it, man. It was beautiful.
Right.
Yeah. You can't find them like that anymore on the side of the road.
No.
It was in the mall parking lot back in the day.
You can't find one running for $2,000.
No, you sure can't.
Nowadays.
So this 70 standard, this is a completed car now?
Yes, it's been done 5 years, I guess, somewhere around in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Share with me what the finished build is like.
It's two-tone, blue and white.
Okay.
The white is OG white for a Volkswagen.
Mm-hmm.
The blue, I kind of like metallic sparkles. She don't like that. She likes just solid colors. So I made her a blue for it. It's a custom color. We've done it ourselves. You can't go to the paint store and buy it. So I'm the only one that has a formula for it. And kind of a medium blue. And it's 4-inch narrowed beam, got disc on the front, got smoothie wheels.
Nice.
We went with the OG, still got the high back seats in it, the basket weave interior.
Yeah.
that was the first car we put a headliner in,
Oh.
and I have to say that was an adventure. And of course, now she does every headliner at the shop. And but it was the 1600.
1600. Okay.
Yeah,
I was going
got
to ask that.
yeah, it's got baby duals on it. Of
Okay.
course, we did this stainless exhaust, stainless J tubes.
Hmm.
I did have air shocks on it for a while. Took those off. Now it's just I got regular shocks on it, and it's lowered down pretty good. She made me raise it up the other day.
What's this car's name?
Sammy,
Sammy.
yeah, she how it come up with Sammy. She's a big Supernatural fan,
Okay.
and she likes Sam off the Winchester Boys off Supernatural.
Okay.
And there was a Sam doll sitting in the front seat, so that's how she come up with the name of that.
Cool, man. I love how all these names,
Oh, I know.
how we always come up with them. It's always a fun. There's always a story behind it.
Yeah,
Now I know you did a lot of work on this car in a 2.5 year span or so. Didn't you work with your dad and your son on this project?
yeah. We had a we got a little I don't know if you call it a two-car garage out back,
Hmm.
and that's where we did it at. And of course, Dad, he would help what he could, but it helped him remember having a bug back in the day, especially when we was working on the engine stuff. He's like, "Hey, I remember doing this on the race car. Or I remember doing this because his motor went out in his green bug he had. He remembered taking it out, and so he helped me a lot of stuff on because I had never worked on a Volkswagen,
Right.
and he helped me a lot on taking them apart. And then my son Caleb, I begged him forever to help me in the shop, and he would never do it. He's, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And so when we started this Volkswagen deal, he's like, I think I want to do this. And I said, okay. So he helped us a little bit on Deborah's car. He come over and I taught him a little bit on cutting some stuff out and stuff like this. And that's what it gradually turned into where he's at now. And me and Deborah probably done 75% of the work on it. But it was just cool having Dad in the background
I bet.
talking about memories and stuff.
Oh man, that priceless. In fact.
And that, we're not as big Volkswagen family as a lot of your guests are, that grew up. That's all
Right.
they had,
Right.
like I say, we did have Volkswagens and it was more the hot rod scene.
Hmm.
And now it's nothing but Volkswagens. I mean,
Well,
I think I've worked on a couple of hot rods in the past few years, but it's mostly, I turn them down. I don't want to work on them.
it sounds like in your first, in your early years, it sounds like your dad was a pretty stuck on Volkswagen guy too. If you
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
say you're not like a lot of the guests, but ain't no difference.
Yeah. I know. I was just saying, like they was probably 20 something years there that we didn't have,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
into Volkswagen stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah, and I can appreciate that too, and I feel like, the same thing for me, right? I got my first one, fresh out of high school. I didn't grow
right.
up having childhood memories, but then I had to actually back up and think because I remember about 8, 9 years old, my mom, next door neighbor near my mom's house was this guy named Dale. And Dale had this yellow sand rail that was just loud as all hell, big old mud bogger on the back and street tires on the front. And it was such a crazy, scary, loud, wind resistant, just crazy ride. It was burned into me, and you
Yeah.
don't think much of it, or I didn't, or haven't throughout my life. But I'm like, that was an air cooled Volkswagen.
Yeah. Well, it's like my dad's brother. He come home one day with a bay window. I think it was actually a Westphalia, and because it had the plaid interior. And I
Mhm,
just remember he didn't have it long, but I just remember running all around that thing too. Because I thought it was cool. You roll up in there with that plaid interior, the way they did them back then.
mhm.
And you know, my mom's brother had a rail since you brought that up, and it was painted like a candy cane. It was red and white. They
Ooh.
had taped all the. He didn't have it long either. I think he blew it up, but it was one of the little short rails.
Mhm.
And
This
so,
one was too. Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it would rear up front end, but yeah, he didn't have it long. But I mean, it was pretty cool.
Those are actually really cool cars,
Oh yeah,
you know?
I'd like to have a rail,
Me
just
too. Me too.
run
I
it up
think
down the road.
Yeah, I think about them. I look at them. Sometimes I see them on Marketplace, and I'm like, "Should I?" Oh, no,
Right.
you don't need any more projects.
Exactly.
So you got this car ready for the car shows, right?
Yeah.
What year did you first enter Bugapalooza and Bug Jam?
I think our 2020, because it's COVID year.
Okay, so 2020.
Yeah. I
What
think the only
what did that first round of car shows really help you or help teach you as, as a builder, now builder of Volkswagens? What that first round kinda really stand out and teach you?
well, we laughed about this. Being from the hot rod world, when I done her motor, is all chrome. I mean,
Okay.
everything on that thing was chrome. So I started going to because that's what we do to a hot rod.
That's right. Chrome it out.
So start going to these shows, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think chrome's the way to go." Because I got seeing all these guys, painting their tins, color matching them, doing wild stuff to them and stuff. So I was like, okay. So the first year there, I got all these ideas, and it was how I had the engine bay done. At first it had 8-spoke empty black wheels on it,
Mhm.
and I got to noticing every other car had 8-spoke black empty wheels on it. You know, and I'm like, okay, we got to do something different. So it taught me a lot, especially on the motor side of it. Got to noticing all the dual carburetors, people doing stainless exhaust.
Mhm.
And so the first year she did pretty good at shows and stuff. I think Bugapalooza was like she got second place. Went to some shows here and there. We did get a best paint award at one show that year. And then we went to Bug Jam. That's all we heard. Bug Jam, Bug Jam, Bug Jam. So that's where we
Mhm.
went.
Mhm.
Of course, it was COVID year. So we get there, there's 500 something cars. And everybody's like, this year's down. And we're like, what do you mean down? And they're like, no, there's usually 8 or 900.
That's
And I'm
right.
like, okay, there's 530 something cars here. That's huge to us. We get there, and then you get to see how they judge cars. And, they walk up with their little notepad and their pen, and they got all this stuff down. They judge you 1 to 10. And, you're sitting there watching them get under your car, inside it, and all this stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, she took second place our first year at Bug Jam out of the 68 and up modified class.
Damn.
So we come back, and I was like, all right, we got to do something different. So I pulled the motor, paint all the tins, color matched it white to the white on the car. But still in 2021, it still had the 8-spoke empties on it. I didn't get to that point yet. Had a little problem with the hood on it. So it's got a carbon fiber hood on it from my guy, David Wiley, that does all the fiberglass work. He was doing the carbon fibers, and I just had a little spot that no matter what I done to it, the rust kept popping back up. I cut it out. I cleaned when I cut it out, I cleaned all inside of it. It just kept popping up.
Huh.
We put carbon fiber hood on it. 2021, we went to Kansas, Buggerama out there. My buddy Kurt wanted us to come out there because he got to see the car on Facebook. We got to become friends. I'm like, man, Kansas, that's a haul. So we go to Kansas. I go out there, support him. And then we just hit, all the other shows again. So this time we go to Bug Jam, totally different. And we set up. And of course, this year there's 800 and something cars. And I'm like, oh boy.
Now it's a real one. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's real. And you get to walking around, you get to looking at all these cars, and they're like, man, there's some beautiful cars here. It's hard. If we place in our class, I'll be tickled to death. So you're sitting there, and the judges come up, they talk to you about your car, then they go off, and they come back up. Tell me the story behind the car. So then I get telling them, me and her built it in the garage in the backyard. I painted it in the backyard in the building. And, you get to doing all this stuff. And then when they come back again, there's 2 more judges with them. So now you went from 2 judges to 4 judges. And you're like, something serious going on here. And then the last time they come back, there's 6 judges. And I'm like, okay, so maybe we're going somewhere with this. But I'm like, I hadn't been in it long, but I'm like, there's no way a 70 standard is going to compete with some of these oval splits, you
Mhm.
know, these split window buses. I mean, there was some badass rides there. And I'm like, there ain't no way. So we get up there to awards. She wins her class. I'm like, okay, I can take that. That's good. then they get to going through the best ofs and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, we ain't gonna get nothing. Then she wins best of show. And I'm like, oh my God, how, how do we do this? Two people from Dunlap, Tennessee built a bug in the backyard in a garage and a half and,
What?
and competing against these high dollar rides. And I mean, it's just mind blowing. I mean, and of course doing that turned into what now is,
Right. What
just,
what what goes through the head of a craftsman, a skilled craftsman like you that really was doing this from what it sounds like kind of as a hobby,
oh yeah, it
kind of
was,
like a weekends thing. What goes through your head when you win best in show out of 800 and something cars and yeah, I don't know what goes through, but you tell me. What
oh, I was speeding. I just stood there. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie. There was a little tear come out. I
I
mean,
bet, man.
I
A
mean,
lot of
it's,
years of effort and work and rust and
I mean,
blood and oh man,
it's just unbelievable, to think that they picked her car out of all them cars there.
that is so
And
awesome, man.
and then after the show, the judges talked to us, and
Mhm.
I was asking them, I'm like, how? There's no way. And they're like, your car's clean, it's neat, y'all built it yourself in the backyard. So I think the story had a lot to do with it.
Sure, sure.
And so, but I mean, it was, we still put in the effort the same as everybody else does. And I mean, it was just mind blowing. I mean, it
So
was,
so you said that experience pretty much brought it to what it is today. So really for me, like when did it click? When did you start to really think, okay, this isn't just gonna be weekends anymore. This is actually gonna be a career?
while we was building her car,
Mhm.
we got into some of the club scenes out of Knoxville and stuff. And then I started painting some of their cars. It, spot in here. I did two all overs. They was pretty nice cars anyways. They just need to be freshened up. And then we started going to the shows, and then you see that car that you just done. Okay, it's placing. Deborah's car's placing. This car's placing. I'm like, okay, so we've got three cars that we've done that's placing. Me and her talked about it, and then you win bug jam, and then the whole ride home, my phone was blowing up. When can you do my car? When can you do my car? When can you do my car?
Wow, man. Look,
So
I got goosebumps from
I
that.
mean, it is crazy. So that was it takes us like 10 hours to get home pulling the trailer from Bug Jam. So that was a very fun 10-hour ride
I bet.
to get to talk about all that. And it was one of them deals. We just decided, hey, let's do it. Let's see if we can do it.
For the listeners that would get motivation from that, maybe still stuck at the day job, wanting to complete a lifelong dream of stepping out on their own, describe for us what was the scariest part of walking away from, the day job?
The stability. I mean,
Mhm.
I knew I painted cars. So I knew what I had to do every week to make what I needed to make. And it's very easy to make that what we needed to.
Mhm.
And cause see, I worked. My wife Deborah stayed at home. She didn't work. And to this day, she threatens to beat me up over making her work now. But I mean, it's, the stability, I had insurance. Well, now you've got to get your own insurance.
That's right.
You got to pay for that insurance because the company I work for helped you pay for it.
Mhm.
And, you had your 401 that you put into. Now what are you going to do? I mean, there's a lot it ain't a quick decision to make hey, I'm going to leave this world and start this. I
No, I
mean,
know it. I know it. And just happening, as you're telling that story, that kind of that backstory, it's really just ringing all the bells in my mind because same for me and my family, 5 kids. My wife probably worked a lot harder than I did every day staying home,
exactly.
raising those kids and homeschooling them. But, all substantial, teenagers now that are, well into their years and developing fine, but I remember that feeling of, whatever I had to do to make ends meet,
Right.
jobs, 3 jobs, night jobs, weekend jobs, whatever, just to make it work. And then my wife stayed true to what she's always done, which was real estate. She always stayed up with her licensure and all that stuff and did continuing ed. And I remember being in Colorado, the last stint we were there from roughly 2018 to 2022. And she had, kids were teens, entering teenage years, should I say. She doesn't have to be as home, you know,
Right.
as much. And, really wanted to start getting back out there in the workplace and did, and was very good, very successful. And, it was really awesome to see that, after being home for so long and, just to be able to accomplish, I don't know, what she wants to do out of
Right.
life as well. Well, fast forward to now, and the whole reason why I said this story, started telling you all these details, is because now I'm her first licensed agent in real estate. She's the owner broker of our real estate company down here in Florida, and she's the man.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's really cool to see that happen, man. I
Exactly.
all I had to do is get the heck out of her way.
Right.
And now it's kind of like the roles are reversed. Now I have more of tend to have a lighter schedule and everything, but I didn't for almost 20 years. And
Right.
it's like she loves to be able to tell that and then to also see what it's turned into now. Like
Yeah.
now we have the ultimate lifestyle together. We get to work together every day. We spend a lot of time together and I don't know, it works for us.
Yeah. I mean, that's me and her. I mean, we work together every day.
Yeah.
You know, she's my best friend. I mean,
That's
it's
right. That's
we
right.
still got a 17-year-old at home, and we homeschool her now.
Mhm.
And of course, she's the one, she races a junior dragster. So
Oh.
so that that helps with homeschooling because like, you know, Thursday, we just got done with the big show we had. Now I'm working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and at night now I'm getting the car ready and the motorhome ready because Thursday we leave for Montgomery, Alabama for 4 days to run the bracket finals. So I mean,
Hey, man.
that's one good thing about homeschooling and owning your own business. And
That's right.
you know,
Make your own schedule.
yeah, and I can still do stuff with her. I
Yeah,
mean, you get to spend 4 days at a racetrack. I mean, it's in our racetrack people are the coolest. It's like kind of like the Volkswagen world. I
sure.
mean, we all help each other. We won it all last year. Our track did the bracket finals. So we're going for a repeat this year. So hopefully, we have good luck this weekend. And I got some Volkswagen guys that live close to where we're going
Mhm.
that's texting me like, "Hey, I'll see y'all Friday. I'm coming to see you." And I've never got to meet them.
Yeah, cool, man.
I get to meet them through the racing thing, the Volkswagen guys. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, heck yeah. It's all community,
Yeah.
and then the whole thing on, having that flexibility in your schedule. Here's what I always like to say about that. Doesn't it feel nice to do what you want instead of
Mhm.
what you have to?
Exactly.
I think that's something that people should strive for in their life. Work to do what the hell you want to do, not what you have to do. Because there's never as much
Yeah.
passion in what you have to do. Now, I know the bumper sticker is real.
Exactly.
You got to do what you got to do at times, but the goal should be to work towards a life where you're doing what you want to do every single day.
Yeah.
And that's really what I'm hearing, man. And I love the sound of it.
That's like, being at the shop, my son just had that grandbaby. She's a year old, and they're like us. They live 5 minutes from the shop.
Mhm.
We get to see her about every day because she'll come in about quitting time and, see her run through the shop. Of course, you got to chase her because she's going to grab everything in there. But I mean, that's pretty cool to get to see her every day like that.
That's a
So it's
blessing,
cool.
truly. So how does running a restoration shop with your family compare to working in traditional body shops, which you've also done in the past? Probably a little bit of that whole schedule thing, like we're
Yeah.
talking about.
I mean, it's, don't get me wrong now. We have our fights during the day, being all family, but it's just cool. You get to go in, the guys you work with in a regular body shop. Yeah, you become friends with some, but you're not like buddy buddy, and it's a better feeling going into the shop every morning and it's all family. And, like Pete, my partner, him and his wife, you know, and then his son was working with us. So it was two families working together.
Man, what a
And,
dream come true.
but Cam, he just left us. His dream is to be a cop. and he got a chance to do it. So we're down a person, but it's still all family. It's me, Deborah, and Caleb, and then Pete and his wife, Rochelle. So, I mean, it's just, you know, it just makes it so easy because, like, if we need to do something, like this morning, I get to come home, do this. They're still at the shop working. Next week, Pete and Rochelle is going to cruising the coast for the week to do
Cool.
that.
Yeah, cool.
So we stay back and work the shop. And so, I mean, but 99% of the time, we all go to shows together. But we're just so busy, and especially so close to Bug Jam, that it's hard to close the shop for a week.
Yeah.
And
Let's touch on Bug Jam. I'm proud to say this year I am sponsoring the stereo contest.
sweet.
DubLife Diaries is. So
That's
I'll
good.
have a little tent set up and I'll be there hanging with y'all the whole weekend. So I'm looking forward to meeting everybody in person for sure. It's gonna be fun. And stereo contest. Randy's never done nothing like that, at Bug Jam. So
No.
I think he's looking forward to it as well. He
Yeah.
he's an awesome guy. He's always looking for innovative ways to try to capture, and put on for this Volkswagen community. And unfortunately he gets a lot of push because, his life and background's not all VW. So what? He still has one of the biggest,
Right.
baddest shows in the state, hell, in the Southeast.
Yeah. He called me the other day. He's like, "Hey, I see you were a vendor this year." I'm like, "Yeah, we figured we'd do that." And he said, "I was looking through my thing," and because we just set up last year we had a show car there. We just set up as a show car, but we talked about it, and I was like, "Nah, let's be a vendor again this year." We've done it, I think, every time but twice. And I was like, so I think he's gonna set us up next to Riverbank so we can all hang out.
Oh, hell yeah, man. That's
So
cool. I'll be up there hanging with y'all.
yeah,
At least I hope I will be. I don't know how much work it's gonna be. I've never done a stereo contest. I mean, so we'll see how it goes, but it's definitely gonna be fun. Let's talk about some of these builds because I know when you sent me some of your VW backstory, you brought up some cars, and I was excited I noted them, and I was excited to want to talk about them. But
yeah,
let's go through a few of them, and you can give me kind of the details on them. I know there was Lucille.
yeah.
Lucille was a 68.
68 on air. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
What?
bought that car. It was because we was building Deborah's car.
Okay.
And I got to building this Volkswagen. I'm like, "Man, these things are pretty cool. I want one." And she's like, "No, you can't buy one till mine's done." And I'm like, so I said, I said, "We need one that we can take to the show now and cruise around in." So I bought it, come out of Knoxville. It was a rusty patina. They had made it like that.
Okay.
Had no carpet, no headliner, barely had seat covers, had aluminum door panels that had designs cut in them with red behind it.
Okay.
But I mean, it was just a rough looking car. We drove it everywhere, and it was cool because you'd roll into these hot rod cruise ins, and everybody's looking at the rusty bug. And then when you hit that switch and it falls on the ground, they were just like, whew, they's all around it because it was on
Yeah.
air and it hit the ground.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
that was my first. I didn't keep it long. I
Uh-huh.
sold it, and but it was just a cool car. I mean, she didn't like riding in it because, I mean, all that wind, there was nothing in the dash. The wind come through the dash. We drove it on some cold mornings, and I mean, you'd freeze to death in it. I mean, it was rough.
That sounds it. I got a 71 Carmen Ghia that still has active heat,
Mm.
and it works like a damn champ. And what stinks is down here, you're in the South too, but down here in Florida, man, it's so humid and hot. In the summertime, I can't drive that car more than 5-7 minutes because the heat's just banging. Uh,
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna fix that this year when it cools off. It's starting to now. We're starting to see the sun
yeah,
shift a little bit, and we're starting to see those cooler mornings, or at least less humidity, which
yeah,
makes it feel cooler. Slappy,
yeah. It was,
Slappy. Tell me about Slappy.
it was a red 74 standard.
Okay, be another Beetle.
Yeah. When
Yep.
I sold the Lucille one, the guy I got to know out of Knoxville had built this car, and he sold it to a guy, and he was just letting it sit there. It was flat red, and it more looked like black when I found it, and he just been letting it sit outside. So I got it, pretty good price. And I actually picked it up in Knoxville and drove it. And it hadn't run, he hadn't had it running, I don't know, 6, 8 months. He said, "You gonna drive it?" I said, "Yeah, let's fire it up, see what it does." So fired it up and I took off and drove it to another guy's shop and had him go over it. Cause at the time I wasn't really mechanical wise on a Volkswagen
Right.
doing all that stuff. So he went over it for me and I went back and picked it up and I drove it from Knoxville back home, which is a little over an hour drive in a Volkswagen. It had red and black plaid Mazda Miata seats in it.
Oh,
So it was a comfortable ride. We really hate that car's gone because you could drive it anywhere. It was a 1641. I took all the tins off of it, painted them flat red to match the car.
nice.
This car really didn't have to do much to it. It was already narrowed beam, smoothies, lowered. We did a little odd and end things to it, but nothing major. But we drove that car because when we go to Circle U Wagons, that's in Sevierville,
Uh-huh.
I would drive it from Dunlap to Circle U Wagons, and I would run up 75 in it, and which was not fun. It especially when a semi would pass you and it'd blow you over in the emergency lane. And so that I did that once, and then we started running back roads. But I mean, it was just one of them cars you could just get in, and it was comfortable. And we talked about that the other day. She's like, "Man, I miss that car because it was just so fun to drive."
Why'd you end up parting
And
ways with it?
yeah, I give what I give for it, and what a guy asked me for, wanted to give me for it. I had to sell it. I
I
mean, it
get
was just
that.
one of them deals that
I get that. I get that. I
I
did
mean,
that to a 58 Beetle
too
that I
much.
had. I just I didn't wanna
Yeah,
sell it. I really didn't wanna sell it, but I said, "You know what? I'm gonna put it on Marketplace, and if I can get this, there's really no reason not to sell it." And then I did.
yeah,
Not only did I get it, but I got it, like, 24 hours later,
right,
and then about 3 weeks out, I start kicking myself, and then
right,
I see it for sale again for $4,000 cheaper than he bought it for me for, and I'm like, "Man, I'm not in a position, but I'd love to go get that car back." It's gone
yeah,
now. I probably won't ever see it again, but I know that feeling. I know that feeling. All right, let's move over to Gangster,
yeah.
the right-hand drive. Tell me about this one.
That's one of the reasons I sold the red car was to buy this 62,
'Kay.
and it was pretty much rust free. Little rust in one of the wheel wells, nothing bad, but the pan was perfect. I mean, it had been wrecked on the left front, wasn't too bad. They just filled it full of mud, so we had to take all that out and straighten it out and stuff. But I mean, it was like I say, 90-something% rust free. Still had the original motor in it. Looked pretty rough when we got it though. It was an OG Turkish car. So uh that's why I kind of wanted it. And so we ended up, we was gonna build it. That was our build for Bug Jam 2022.
Mhm.
And then it started, "Hey, let's do this. Hey, let's do that. Let's do this. Let's do that." So I mean, it got to the point to where we're like, "Okay, boys, we gotta stop here. We're building too much stuff, or wanting to do too much stuff to this car." So it was a regular left-hand drive. One of my guys working for me said, "Let's make it right-hand drive." And I'm
Oh,
like, "Oh, come on now." And then we got to looking at it, and it's, beam-wise, it's not hard to switch it left to right because all you
okay.
need steering box to this side, swap the tie rods, you're done. The dash, we welded up the glove box hole, made the hole for the speedometer the way we wanted it. I had some people say, "Well, you didn't center it over the steering wheel." I lay where I wanted it. I wanted it off to the side. We made a custom dash. And then where the glove box was on the passenger, or the speedo was on the driver's side, we just smoothed it and made it completely smooth. And so it was custom on both sides, but I left it OG in the center. Still had the OG knobs, put a stereo block off plate on it, and it still had the ashtray. So the dash was custom and stock. Then I had Bond Hot Rod. He was at a show we was at. I had him because the side of the dash we filled in looked plain. So I had him do some striping on the dash side of it. Of course, he's a Volkswagen guy too,
Mhm.
and he was tickled to death to do it. So we did that. cut the headlights out, dropped them 2 inches, made it kind of like a low light.
Yeah.
Made
Interesting.
split, made split bumpers for it, front and rear. Rear bumpers had LEDs in them.
Nice.
Of course, everybody's like, "Where'd you get them LEDs?" I said, "Amazon, $20." And so we had to heat them a little bit and bend them to make them fit the bumpers. But I mean, they work great. And put the W deck lid on it, smoothed it. You know, it's just completely smooth. Took the handle off, tail light, everything, or the license light thing off. Took all that off. Put the slide out adjustable hinges on it. We also used a front hood latch on the rear, made a box, made it. So the engine lid has a hood latch on the rear. And then you reach up under the passenger fender and pull the cable and it pops the engine lid.
Oh,
So, and
cool.
we did the same
Custom.
thing to the hood. I shaved the hood and put the hood release up under the driver's front fender. So you just reach up under there and pull it.
Uh-huh.
Smooth the inside, just put the headliner in the center and took all the teeth off and everything, smoothed all it, painted it the same colors outside. I mean, it was hit all the wires. The wiring harness is under the gas tank. All the wires are run through the body. You can't find no wires on that car because me go back to 2021 with Deborah's car.
Yeah.
I was mentioning how they judge you at Bug Jam. I mean,
Okay.
so her car's sitting there. The judge comes to me. The driver's door's open. He said, "Come here. I'm gonna show you what I docked you on." We walk 10 feet behind Deborah's car. And I'm like, "Why are we walking back here?" And he said, "You see that red wire hanging down under your steering column?"
Oh.
He said, "We docked you a point for that." I said, "Okay, I got you." Go to 2022. And the way they do it at Bug Jam, like the boys that judged her car the previous year, they move them around every year. So we show up at Bug Jam with my car, and guess who my 2 judges are? The boys that judged Deborah's car the previous year because they got the fully custom division this year.
Okay.
And I was like, "Okay, boys, find a wire on this car."
Yeah.
You got me last year a point for a wire, so let's see if we can find one on this one. And they couldn't find one. And I said, "I've done that for y'all because I was going to show y'all that we can hide every wire that we need to." So, I mean, we even had the headlight wires. It run up under the gas tank and come up inside the wheel wells and come into the headlight. I mean, we hit everything on it.
Man.
I even hid the radio. It was under the rear seat and just Bluetooth it from the phone. You couldn't even see the radio in it.
Now, didn't this car win?
Yeah, it won Best of Show too. So we won it 2 years in a row, 2 different cars. And
then how much longer did you own this one, Gangster,
I had it
before you sold it?
I had it a year.
About a year?
Yeah. It took a while to sell because it had a price tag on it that, you know, not everybody's going to jump on.
Sure.
And so it took a while, and we was just out cruising one night. It was me and Deborah and Pete and his wife. He said, "Hey, let's take the bugs and go cruise." So I actually drove Gangsta that night. And we was at a restaurant about 20 miles out of town here, and Pete took a picture and tagged me in it of both our bugs sitting out front of the restaurant. And this guy from Florida messaged me. He said, "Hey, is that car for sale?" And I said, "Which one?" And he said, "The turquoise one." I said, "Actually, it is." So we talked for about a month, and I was like, "This dude ain't for real." And because he would talk to me, then I wouldn't hear from him for 2 weeks, and he'd call me back. And we'll come to find out he was real. And he's from Panama City, and he's big into hot rods. I'm talking, he has a garage I'd love to have. It's full of, he has some Mustangs, Shelbys and stuff that not many were built. And he just bought one 4 or 5 months ago that was very rare. There was only, I think, if I'm not mistaken, only 12 built.
Dang.
And there's only 3 to be known left. And he bought it at Meekle. And it was weird. It's like a reddish orangish color with plaid interior. So it's a beautiful car, but you don't ever see one.
Right.
So, and then he was buying it for his, at the time, almost 15-year-old son. Yeah.
Wow.
And so I'm talking to the dad, which knows nothing about Volkswagens. and I got the 15-year-old in the background that knows as much as we do. He has studied up on Volkswagen.
Okay.
And, he's like, I want a bus too one day, but I don't want no Brazilian. So, I mean, he's
Wow.
like, okay, he's been studying this stuff,
Yeah.
and it was funny. And then when they showed up to get it, I'm standing there and this boy ain't 5 foot tall. He looks just like a beach boy. He's got long blonde hair,
Yeah.
skinny, tanned. You can tell he's from Panama City.
Uh-huh.
And it had a 1915 in it.
Okay.
I tried to tell him how to drive it around Panama City, and he kept fouling the plugs, getting stuck in traffic. So we took that motor out and put him a 1641 in it. That way he can sit there and idle all he wants, and
Mhm.
he can drive it. Ain't got to worry about it. And so he had it for a while and brought it back to us, and we put the motor in it, swapped that out. He's damaged the fender a few times. I've had to refix the fenders, and, 'cause it's on the ground. I mean, it's static lowered, and
Mhm.
you got to be careful. And I've been to Panama City. It's not easy to get into parking lots and stuff and them lowered bugs like that.
Right.
So it's actually at the shop now. I got to fix a fender again. It keeps me in business. It's cool. I get to see my old car all the time.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So that's gangster.
Yeah.
Moving over to Ugly Betty. This
Yeah.
is a 66, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My daily driver.
Your daily driver.
Yeah.
Tell me about Ugly Betty.
It's just, I sold gangsta, which I hated driving it because I was scared a rock would hit it or something, didn't want to scratch it. And driving down the road, everybody wants to look at it because you're on the wrong side driving. So I've had people almost hit me in that car, because they're looking at me. So when I sold it, I told Deborah, I said, I must buy me a car. I don't care what it looks like. Got another friend off Facebook. He wheels and deals a lot in Volkswagens, and he had this one come up. So I went and bought it. It's just a 66 patina Gialla. It's lowered, still got drum brakes all the way around. It's got BRMs on it. It's 1641 single port.
Hmm.
I pulled the motor, dressed it up, painted it, kind of painted the motor patina to match the car,
Sure.
and kind of took one of my cleaning towels when I was in there painting it and dipped some paint on the end of it, and kind of smeared 1641 on the blower housing, and then wiped it to make it look old, like it'd been on there a while. So
Oh,
that's the way I done the engine, and I painted the engine bay to make it look better. But the interior was rough on it, so we bought all new interior for it, put it in, found a set of pop outs for it, and of course, we started making the pop out extenders for the windows. My brother-in-law has a plasma table, and he has it at the shop. So we started making pop out extenders. We make some hood props for the front, made some hood hinges, just any little thing we can make for bugs. I show it to him, and he'll make it for us. But I drive that car like it's got a bottle opener I put a bottle opener on the left front. And when you're at these car shows and stuff, everybody that, like drinks Corona or something, they'll roll up and pop their beer bottle off the front of my car because I'm the only one that's got a bottle opener. And it's just a cool car. Deborah's the one that named it Ugly Betty because she thinks it's ugly.
still got it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I drove it to work this morning and come back up here, and I drive it it's pouring rain. The wipers work. I mean, everything works on it. I drive it.
How hard is it to make those safari kits for the front windows?
We hadn't done the front windows yet because I just get everything from loose nuts on the front windows.
Right.
Jeremy's stuff is
I've
so
talked to a
good.
couple people online. I was gonna try to. I've seen a couple of builds. I've seen some Carmen Gias, even
Yeah.
early '70s, that had the Safari windshield. And I
Yeah.
know it's not. I guess it's not as easy because it's a little bit curved. But I've seen
Yeah.
it. But anytime I ever chase that rabbit and I go down that hole, by the time I end up with somebody, in Mexico or in another country, and it doesn't feel right. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable, spending $1,000 or whatever it is for this kit. And you want me to do it through WhatsApp? Like, no, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We bought a front Safari for a bug out of country, and it didn't work. And
See,
so
yeah.
we just called Jeremy up, hey, I need this. We get it. It fits.
Yeah, that's a good
So
feeling when they fit. So
yeah,
you got a shop full of projects now.
yep,
You've
yep.
got a 51 split, you got multiple buses there, you got some Carmen Gias. When you take a new build or a new project, I guess we could say, what's your philosophy as a builder on how far to take a build?
Well, I just listen to the customer. You know, if they leave it up to me, we gonna customize it, slam it. You know, it's gonna be dragging going down the road. But not everybody likes that.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I know. And so I just listen to them. If they say something, we think it might be better. I don't tell them, hey, I think this would look better. We just kind of guide them in that direction
Right.
and, start the build and be like, I think it would look better with this. And then you send them, oh, yeah, it will. So I just kind of start out with, listening to them. Hey, this is how we want to do it. Okay. And then when we see some stuff that might look better, we just kind of guide them in that direction without them knowing we're making them go that way.
Mhm.
And just to make the car look better. And I mean, we done a 78 Super last year. It was a lady's dad's car. And first thing he said was, Brad, you can't lower it. And I'm like, come on, man. He's like, no, can't lower it. I want it stock. And I'm like, okay. So, but he went with a Ford Bronco color. We put plaid interior in it, put Gilmore AC on a convertible with a 1904 motor in it. I mean,
Dang.
yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful car when it was done.
Yeah,
And
y'all are busting out some work, man.
I mean, it's every day.
Yeah, that's
We
awesome.
we could work 24/7 if we wanted to, but
I mean, what a privilege. A couple times throughout, our conversation, you've mentioned some of the great friends that you've met in the scene.
yeah,
To you and to all the listeners, what makes the VW community different, from your perspective?
it's just well, everybody helps each other. I mean, I give you an example this weekend. We're cruising. Well, there's 7 of us. We get to leave. Hey, my car won't start. Battery's dead. Nobody's got a jump box. So we're out there, all of us pushing him off. So them 2 left. Well, then the other 5 of us get ready to leave. And she's like, lady that was with us, she's like, my car won't start. So, we're out there. We tried to jump hers off, tried to take a screwdriver because Robbie Johnson was with me. And we're trying to jump it off, try to get the starter. We're like, man, let's just push it. And so we pushed it off. And another cruise Friday had a couple that was going down and fixed them right there on the spot. And I mean, it's anytime you need anything, I could call up anybody right now and go, hey, I'm having a problem with this. And they'll tell me exactly what to do. But
Mhm.
it's just, you know, it's totally different than hot rodders. It's hot rodders kind of got their own little cliques and, you know, the Volkswagen, I mean, it's just like one big family,
Yeah.
everybody is, you know, and it's cool when you're at a show and you got a guy that comes up, man, I follow you on Facebook. I finally got to meet you.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you get to talk for an hour and it's like you've known him for 20 years before you even met him because of the reacting on Facebook. But I mean, everybody's just so cool. I mean, it's anytime you need anything, everybody's there.
I vibe with that. And I tell you, that's why I started this podcast because I have a similar experience. Everybody I meet, straight up cool as hell,
Yeah.
all just we're all kind of alike. We all have a same commonality, in these cars. Not any of them are the same. I feel like the Volkswagen scene is like a fingerprint
Oh
because
yeah.
there's no two alike,
No.
even if they're the same year, even if they're the same color, they're
Yeah.
still different, right? Like
Yeah.
different name, different personality. Some
Yeah.
of them look like they're smiling, some look like they're laughing, some look like they're
Right.
angry.
Yeah.
It's like
Exactly.
it's the coolest thing ever, man, for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just great. I mean, like I say, just call up anybody anytime. It don't matter what time of the day. You know, I have like Chris White. I'm going to bed. He messaged me 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, so I'm getting my phone out, messaging back. I mean, it's just
Stand up dude, man. That
yeah.
dude's awesome.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's just cool the way everybody is. I mean, it's just you know,
So you're putting on a show now. I see
Whew.
the last few years. I've seen some of the newer shows that are either coming back. They're
Yeah,
reviving a show that was in the '90s or something, or
yeah.
starting their own. I mean, how important do you think it is to keep the culture alive for us to, as an organizer, for us to put together these events like this for our community?
I think it's great. I mean, you bring in people into your town, that would never come here. You know, it's like Derek with Bugs on the Bayou. I mean, that
Mhm.
was a great show. I mean, we went to it last year. I mean, I think it's just, or this year, I'm sorry. I mean, it's just, I think it's great that everybody's bringing these back or starting a new one.
Yeah.
And it just gives us more places to go, and you're getting to meet people that you would never get to meet before. And I just think it's great for the communities that they're putting them on in. And as a VW community, I think it's great to get everybody to gather up and, because most of them we go to have a cruise on it. That's what it's about, driving them. I
Right.
mean,
No
drive
doubt.
them.
Yeah.
And I just think it's great that they're doing it.
We got a few. I hope you boys, eventually can come down. But here in the Tampa Bay area, we've got V Dubs over the Skyway, which this will be the 27th year. For the 25th year reunion ride, we had a little over 400 cars.
That's
Now,
awesome.
all these cars are coming over the Skyway Bridge at one time. So, the line's over 2 miles long. It's
Right.
unbelievable. It's a really cool thing to see.
Yeah.
They changed the construction of the downtown St. Pete Pier around 2018, 2017, something like that. They opened the new construction of the pier, and they did not host a car show on the pier since the new construction until just a few months ago. Actually, in May, we did V-dubs on the pier, which
Yeah.
was only about 150 of us, but still was awesome.
Right.
And we're working on a few other things. We did a nighttime ride, trying to figure out how can we make this cooler for the Skyway. Well, the Skyway Bridge lights up at night with several $1 million worth of LED lights that you could see it from damn space. I'm like, why don't we light the cars up?
Right.
Drive them over the lit up bridge. How cool would that be? So we did that last year. It was right after a couple of hurricanes had hit our area and stuff, and
Yeah.
attendance was about 120 cars. Not not quite as big as the actual Skyway ride. This year we're coming back, and we negotiated the St. Pete Fishing Pier, Skyway Fishing Pier, which, if you notice, like the Southern California car shows, they have a couple of the buses on the pier
Yeah.
in Huntington Beach where you see
Yeah.
the drone shots, and it's just the whole pier is just full of. We're going to create that here with the same drone shots, and the backdrop is Tampa Bay and the Skyway, and it's going to be epic.
That'd be
So
awesome.
yeah, hopefully some of you guys can come down for some of those here in the future. But back to you. I know your whole family gets involved with this. What does it mean to you to share this experience with your wife, with your kids, even your dad?
I mean, it's cool. I mean, like I say, getting to work with your wife every day.
Yeah,
Some people
man.
say, how do y'all work together every day? Well, I
I
mean,
love it.
it's like I said before, we're best friends. I mean,
Yeah, man.
me and her do everything together.
Mhm.
It's very seldom you see one of us without the other. And working like Caleb, our son, working with us, like I say, you get to see the grandbaby about every day. Of course, they only live, it probably takes him 10 minutes to get to our house from where he lives. And he lives like 5, 6 minutes from the shop. We all live in this town. Of course, we do have an older son. He's in construction. He lives in Chattanooga. So
Mhm.
we get to see them too. But, and then like Bailey's homeschooled, she's at the shop all the time. She's got a 14 GTI. I think I screwed up on that one. It's lowered.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
so yeah, now I got to put a bumper on it. And so, I mean, I probably should have bought her a 4-wheel drive truck instead of a lower GTI.
Right.
But,
Hey, man,
um,
I like it.
I mean,
Volkswagen life.
yeah, I mean, it's just awesome to get up, you know, because we're together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I mean, it's just, we go to these shows together. Caleb didn't get to go to a lot last year because of the newborn.
Mhm.
And so, but this year, she's a year old now. So he's going to be back at Bug Jam with us this year. He's excited. He said about killed him last year because he didn't get to go. I mean, it's
Old FOMO, fear of missing
yeah,
out. Yeah,
yeah.
it hits us all. So let's fast forward to the future, man. Where do you see long restoration, say next 5 or 10 years?
Well, the next 5 years, I'm sure I'll still be there. I'm hoping within 10 years that it's Caleb's, you know, maybe, I don't know, Pete's younger son would want to be part of it again, or whatever. But I wish we could keep it like that.
Family.
And yeah,
Hmm.
and I mean, it's so hard to find employees right now. I mean, nobody wants to work, and
No.
that's what's killing us. And that's one good thing about family. I mean, we're always there. That's 5 years. See, that'll put me what? Ooh, that put me almost 60. I'll be almost retiring. I don't think I'll ever get to retire though. I'll probably be 65 and still down there painting a Volkswagen.
Hey, man, that might not be that bad though.
Right.
You know, something you said kind of hit home. Labor is hard to find. Skilled labor is even harder to find.
Yeah.
And I did consulting in the trades for a number of years. And something that I saw a lot when I was helping companies recruit new technicians was when you get to a place in business where you can build a technician instead of hiring one that has all kinds
Yeah.
of bad habits and shit, I feel like it changes things because you can instill in that technician the expectations slash how you want to evolve the
Exactly.
customer experience.
Yeah.
So I always say to people, man, if you can build the employee, it's better. I don't know if that helps you at all, but you
Well,
know,
that's, for example, like Caleb, my son.
mhm.
I told you earlier, I begged him to work with me. He would never do it when he was younger. And when he started with us 3 years ago, he couldn't weld. He didn't know how to, he didn't know how to do nothing. But now he welds everything. He's our fab guy. If we can't buy a part, he can make it. And, and I
And that's
wish
so
I had,
cool, man.
wish I
That's
had
so
10
cool.
of him, he
Right.
was just in the same way with Pete's son, Cam. He come to work for us right out of high school when he graduated. He didn't know nothing, but he stood back and watched and he said, I want to do the body work. And I'm like, well, first of all, you're crazy to want to do that. But so I worked with him, showed him, and he worked with us for a couple of years and he done 90% of the body work on all the vehicles. And it like I say, it sucked when he said, hey, I'm gonna be a cop. And I'm like, but that's what you want to do. That's your dream. I'm not holding you back.
Yeah, no, for
And
sure, man. And that's
so
the
I
right
mean
attitude to have. I think that's your target. That's your target employee, though, is maybe the younger, high
yeah,
school guy that's interested in cars. If you're patient enough to show them the way,
yeah,
and if you're financially strong enough to be able to hold on to somebody like that and train them,
right.
and pay them to be there.
Yeah,
I know that's always the Achilles heel for a lot of these HVAC, plumbing, and electrical companies that I've worked with in the past. Is always, but how do I pay them a reasonable salary?
right,
To get a skilled person like that to stay through the hurdles of development. And
right,
the answer was always the same and still is to me. Not sure it would resonate or even work for you, but performance pay is how you do that. Performance pay is, you pay a reasonable hourly, way less than, somebody that's a skilled plumber would be
right,
making hourly, like for a union, let's say, but it's based on performance. It's based on their ability to communicate with customers, get 5-star reviews, and do a good job for your company. If they can do that, well, they'll make more money. Well, guess what? So does the company
right.
if they're producing. So it doesn't cost you to hold that person and train them, I guess is my point. But yeah, man. Yeah. There's some similarities there in growth and development, but keep rocking, man. You guys are crushing it, dude.
We're trying. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. So, last question I have for you, and then I got some rapid fire, some quick answers. We'll dive into is this one. I feel like you're like a legacy builder. I talk to a lot of builders, and then I get that feeling from some of them that are just like, oh man, this one really, peel the onion back because there's a lot here. How do you want people to remember your builds?
The way I think what I'm known for, Caleb, all of us are known for is we build clean. They look sophisticated. They're just clean. We don't, I don't do nothing wild. We do custom stuff. but they still look OG. You know, you got to look at them really hard. We just want to be known as them clean builders that build nice cars. You know, they're straight, they're slick,
Mhm.
but they're not way over the top.
Okay.
And then we just want, that's the way we want to be known, is just the clean rides, and they're just,
Everyday cars that you can drive.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I like that, man. All right, I got some rapid fire, as I was saying. So these are going to be a fast response, fast answer. If a story comes of it, cool. Let's get
All
into
right.
it. But if not,
Okay.
don't feel like you need to. All right. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Favorite paint color that you ever laid down?
Black.
Black.
You
All
make it
right.
slick.
I thought I was going to hear maybe something else, but I want to finish my thing in black. So I want to make my thing. I got a 74. I
Yeah.
want to make it themed for my podcast. And what
Yeah.
my dream for that car, that build is black everything except for trim, and then in
Yeah.
trim like headlight rings, etc., door hinges, or not hinges, sorry, handles. I want gold.
Right.
I want black and gold. And look, man, I might get maybe some negative feedback for this because it's not too Volkswagen-ish, but this is my dream, so I'm gonna keep going.
Right. Exactly. Build.
I want to put gold like Dayton or the old McLean or McLaren
Right.
wire wheels on it,
Yeah.
and I want to dump it. Why? Well, because my whole childhood was centered around the lowrider culture.
Right. Exactly.
We had a lowrider show. Lowrider magazine used to come right into Tampa and set up at the fairgrounds, and every year I'd go there. And lowriders are like a part of my past. I had bowling ball, candy apple red paint on some of my cars with swirl, big old hammer wheels that stuck out real far, and
Yeah.
just the lowrider scene. So a little bit of that is kind of just ingrained in me. So anyway, you said black.
Yeah. Because you
That's my
paint it
dream.
black, it's got to be straight and it's going to be slick. I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
that's just, I just like painting it because you can just make it slick as glass.
Yeah, ooh, that's how I want. I want to see my thing there one day. It's tan or almond, whatever that
Right.
is now. And I swear I like it. It's my ride. But buddy, I can't wait till she's black. I can't wait till
Right.
she's black. All right. Best food or best drink that you've ever had when you're on the road doing VW shows?
All right. This will be a little story for you.
Wonderful.
It's probably not the best, but it's the most memorable. We're on our way back from Kansas. It's me and my wife, my daughter, and one of her friends. I don't know if you've ever been out there.
I have.
Right. Okay,
Oh,
there's nothing
no.
driving back.
And if you're going one way, I pulled a camper across Kansas. So one way, you get about 8 miles to the gallon. When you're going back against the wind, you get about 3.
Yeah. I mean, there is nothing. And if you rode up to where an exit was and, oh, there's food. Well, it's 5 miles off the road.
Oh,
And I'm like, so we finally roll in and there's this big, huge convenience store. So we wheel in. Well, they had a kitchen. We're about to starve because we've been driving for a while. So we just roll in. We buy hamburgers, corn dogs, potato logs, whatever they had in that hot pan. And even the women was laughing at us. And they give us a discount on it. And we loaded all that stuff back up in the vehicle and off we went. And we're just eating all that convenience store hamburgers and stuff going down the road. I mean, it probably wasn't the best, but
hey, man, that was a cool story, though.
it's the most memorable story of eating on the road.
One tool in the shop that you can't live without.
My son,
Ooh, man, great answer. All right. How
if
about
he ain't there, we in trouble.
that's awesome, though, man. It really is. How about most underrated VW model? Underrated.
Super Beetle.
Super Beetle. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I like that. I like that you said that because I hear a lot of pushback on the Super Beetle. I don't know why. I like the Super Beetle too. They look good too, man.
I mean, they ride good. Am I
Yeah,
going to
hell
own
yeah.
one?
That's
No,
right.
but it's, they're not my thing. But I mean, we're working on 2 of them right now. I mean, they ride good. You get them all set up right and everything. But a lot of people hate them.
All right. How about same question, other way around? Most overrated VW model.
Mm, 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 mm. everybody likes a 67 Bug. For what reason, I don't, because it's a 1 year. And we've done a couple of 67s that we've converted to 66s. It's because you can't get the rear aprons. Nobody makes them. You can't find them, but everybody likes them. But that's a real hard question because I don't.
That's
if you
okay.
look at it,
All right, how about one build that you wish you could get back?
Gangsta, my 62.
Okay, Gangster. That's the right-hand drive?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that thing sounded awesome.
Yeah.
Who inspires you most right now in the VW scene?
Right now, I have to say it's my boy Chris White from Riverbank.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, he is, if you talk to him, he's like, well, Brad inspired me to do this. And I tell him, I said, don't be telling people, don't be putting that off on me that I got you to try to do this. And, me and him talked, a few years ago, and he come to my shop and he walked up to me and he's like, you inspired me to want to do this. And of course, that meant a lot. But the past year, that boy's been on it. He is anything Volkswagen, he's pushing.
He is, man.
We just had our show this past weekend. He pushed it big time. He is, he's just a great guy, do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
But he's all about it right now, trying to get all this going good.
If you weren't doing restorations right now, what would you be doing?
Probably in a body shop, still painting.
Okay. If people want to get in touch with you, if they hear something from you that's motivating or they want to follow your builds, shout out where they can find you online.
On Facebook, it's Long Restoration. TikTok, I post a lot of videos on TikTok. It's the same thing, Long Restoration. Our email address at work is longrestoration24@gmail.
Okay.
So if our phone number to shops, 423, I got to try to remember this, 677-1834. We're there 8 to 4 Central Time every day.
Yeah, you guys, if you want to follow Brad's builds, check out Long Restoration online. If you're going to be at Bug Jam this year for 2025, you're going to be there as well, right? Don't you have you bringing a new build to Bug Jam this year?
Yeah, I'm bringing 2.
You're bringing 2. All right.
I got a 67 on air and a 72 standard. That's my car.
That's my baby. Car. That's my first car I ever had. So 72 standard. Yep.
That's what we're bringing them to.
All right. Well, y'all look out for them there. And that's a wrap for this episode of DubLife Diaries. Thanks for riding along with us and diving into these incredible stories of the people in the dubs that drive their dreams. If you love today's episode, don't forget to subscribe or hit that follow button so you never miss an adventure. Do you have a story to tell or know somebody else who's living the dub life? Awesome. Reach out to us. You can find us on all socials at DubLife Diaries. Or shoot me an email. I'm not hard to find. DubLifeDiaries@gmail.com. Until next time, keep the engines humming and the wheels turning, and always follow the road that inspires you. This is Joe Person. I'm signing off. I'll catch you on the next ride.